It's finally happening. Something I would not believe that it will ever happen in the Czech Republic, but it's here. The Czech Republic has officially introduced a new type of visa for digital nomads. It's complicated to get it. It's limited, very limited by nationalities and by the fields where you can work, but it's a start. Before that, there was no option like that. Now there is. So I will take you through everything we know at this point, and yeah, let's hope it will give you some idea about the visa, if you can qualify for that, and if yes, then it will give you the guide to try to get the visa, and of course you can always contact us and we'll be happy to help you with that. We have already written an article about this, so if you are more about reading instead of videos, then I've already shared the link to the article in the description of the video, so just go there. Otherwise, I will just take you through everything right now. First of all, or like two things as first of all. First thing is that I actually didn't really understand what was the purpose of this whole thing, because when I first read all the terms and conditions and everything, it's very complicated. And I cannot imagine that any of you, I'm not saying this because I don't believe your capabilities or anything, but there are so many different steps involved that I cannot imagine that you would be able to do it on your own, and especially from somewhere else. You know, if you're in the Czech Republic, maybe some of the steps you could take care of, but if you're not even here, it's basically impossible because, for example, the trade license, when we get to it, you need to do it in person in the Czech Republic. So it's way more complicated than any other visa types available at the moment. But then I realized that even though it's complicated, it brings an option to people who would not otherwise be able to get a visa in the Czech Republic. Because for digital nomads of sorts, there is no available visa option at the moment, or wasn't. Now there is this one. But before that, not really. Either you had to lie during the interview and say that you're not a digital nomad, or you would not be able to get the visa, or the Czech visa in any way. So actually, I understand it now. Even though it's very complicated, it at least gives you the option. So that's great. It's a first step. I'm sure they will be modifying the program based on the feedback from people applying and people getting approved, denied. They will check the data and they will decide what to do next. So it will change probably in the future. But as of now, let's go through everything as it is now. So the first thing is that the Digital Nomad Visa is actually not a new visa option. That's actually not a visa. What is happening though is that I will take you through all the steps what you need to do as a freelancer if you want to get this type of visa, but just briefly now, what you need to do is that you get a special permission, let's say from a different ministry, from the Ministry of Trade and something, whatever, Industry and Trade. And then with this permission, you apply for some other type of visa. So either for the business visa or for the other type, or family reunification if you are bringing the family as well. So it's actually not a new visa type. It's just some, let's say, additional approval to say that, okay, this person is a digital nomad, give him a visa based on this. So this is one important thing to understand. And let's go through how it all works now. So basically, the two limitations there are two limitations, and those two limitations are your nationality, because this option only applies to certain nationalities. I will tell you immediately. And the second limitation is that it's only for IT sector. Okay, so it's not for any other sector, any other field of business, so online marketers or like writers or anything else, that doesn't apply yet. So in this first version, it's only for IT, because IT is big in the Czech Republic, whatever. So only certain nationalities and only IT. Now, as for the nationalities whose citizens can apply. So it's Australia, Canada, Japan, New Zealand, South Korea, Taiwan, United Kingdom, and United States. So it's actually eight countries or 8 citizens or 8 nationalities who can apply for this type of visa. No one else at this point. There are 2 kind of options. One is for freelancers. If you're just a self-employed person, you work in IT, and I will go through the points of what documents you need, all that. But so if you're a freelance person working in IT, and it also applies to employees working in some foreign company. So let's say you're an American, you work for an American company as an employee, not as a freelancer contractor, but as an employee, and you want to come to the Czech Republic and continue working for the company, and of course it must be in IT, then you also qualify, or you can qualify for this type of, I will be saying visa because it's the easiest, but it's basically just one additional document you will need to get a standard business visa or the other type of visa. If you're moving here as a freelancer, you would be applying for the business visa after obtaining all the other things. And if you're moving here as an employee, you would be applying for the other type of visa. So no employee card, nothing like that, the other. And in either case, you can bring your families with you. So if you're a freelancer, you manage to get the business visa, you can also bring your family under family reunification. The same applies to the employees. If you manage to get the visa based on your employment contract, then you can also bring your families. And now how the process works. I will give you an example with the freelancing because I think it's the most common scenario, and it's also most of our clients are freelancers, like for the business visa or for similar types of visa. So let's go through that. If you need more information about the employee type, then get in touch and I'll be happy to explain, or one of my colleagues will be happy to explain. So let me just see, I saw something strange on the phone. No, it's still recording, still working, good. So step-by-step process, and you will understand why I said it's a bit complicated. So first thing is that you need to get a Czech trade license. So it's similar to the standard business visa. It cannot be done, or it must be done physically in the Czech Republic. So you either need to be here, which is actually possible for, I think, all of the nationalities, because all of you can come here for up to 90 days without a visa needed. So you could technically come here and get the trade license done. Or how it works in most cases is that you, for example, give us a power of attorney to act on your behalf, and we can get the trade license on your behalf completely. So you don't necessarily need to be here. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is that you apply to the Ministry of Industry and Trade for this kind of status of digital nomad. So that means that someone at the ministry will look at the documents, I will tell you which ones, and they will say, okay, we can qualify this person as a digital nomad, or no, this is not exactly that, and we cannot qualify them as digital nomads. So you will need to submit a certain amount of documents, and then they will decide if you are good enough to become a digital nomad or not. And you will get kind of a certificate saying, yeah, okay, he's a digital nomad, please let him apply for this type of visa. So what documents you need for that is the trade license, obviously. Then you need to have a client, either already like a contract or contract about future contract with a client, or they need to write a sworn statement that they will be using your services in IT sphere. They need to specify what exactly kind of what you will be doing, because the ministry needs to check that you will really be working in IT and in not in any other field. You need to, or they need to swear that they will be paying you more than 1.5 of the Czech national average. So at this point, which is almost September 2023, it's around 62, I believe, 1,000 crowns a month. And for how long your cooperation is planned, because you would be applying for a long-term visa. So if the cooperation is meant for like 3 months, you will never get the visa because that would be a short-term visa, which you don't need anyway. So it's one thing. Another thing, you also need to prove that you have education in the IT field, or that you have at least 3 years of experience and in that field. So either you have a diploma from IT and you submit that, or you don't, but you've been working in that field for more than 3 years. And in that case, you would need to submit, say, your previous employment contracts or any proofs that will like reasonably or undoubtedly prove that you've been working in the IT industry for at least 3 years. So then you submit it to the Ministry of Industry and Trade, and you will wait what happens. And then they will either tell you, okay, this is not good enough, either submit some additional documents, or no, we will not qualify you as a digital nomad, or they will tell you, yes, okay, that's fine, and they will issue a certificate for you that you met the requirements and that you can apply for a visa based on that. They should also, the Ministry of, that's like step 3, that they will issue the certificate. Step 4 would be that they should also get in touch with the Czech embassy, telling them, okay, this person passed, and you can offer them an appointment. And then the embassy should reach out to you directly and offer you an appointment to go submit your visa application. You will only have one option to reschedule, and only for serious reasons. So actually you will need to have all the other documents needed for the type of visa you go for, either the business visa or the other visa, and plus the family members, maybe like the family reunification visa. You will basically need to have all the documents ready, because if the embassy tells you, hey, come next week, Tuesday, you cannot really reschedule. You can once, but you will need to really justify why you have to reschedule, that you don't have all the documents, when you will have them. And then if they assign you another appointment and you don't come again, you've lost your chance. So this will be a bit tricky with the timing, but this is how it should work. So once the Ministry of Industry and Trade approves you as a digital nomad, they contact the embassy, and the embassy contacts you and offers you an appointment date. So you need to go, step number 5, you need to go at the appointment date to the embassy, submit all the standard set of documents. So either for the business visa, I made another video about it called Živno visa, I believe, where you need the trade license, proof of funds, proof of accommodation, photos, application form, your criminal check from the country of your origin and all the countries where you have lived longer than 6 months in the last 3 years. A couple more documents, so you will need to obtain all these and take them to the embassy. If you want to apply with your family as well, then they will also need to obtain their sets of documents. So the marriage certificate, birth certificate, criminal checks, proof of accommodation, proof of funds, all those photos, application forms, all that. You will need to have that when you go to the embassy. Then you submit the application and you wait. Officially, this is the fun part. Officially, this visa should be decided within 45 days. And if the ministry sticks to that, this would be the only kind of advantage besides like you being able to apply as a digital nomad. But other than that, the process is more complicated than for a normal visa. But this would be actually a great advantage because they have to make the decision within 45 days. Now, we have worked with around 15,000 clients in the last 10 years, 12 years, and I don't really believe this. Whatever the ministry says that the official deadlines are, they rarely stick to it. So I would definitely not hang your life on that, okay, they say 45 days, so I will sell my house and I will be moving exactly in 45 days, that's my flight, all that, blah, blah, blah. I would not do that. It's possible that they will approve it within 45 days. That's what they should do officially. But honestly speaking, based on the experience we have, I don't think it will be happening. Maybe, we'll see. And if yes, that would be great because that would be the fastest approvals of all the types of visas, basically. Unless you are lucky and they really approve it fast. Whatever. Anyway, but we'll see about this. Then what happens after the approval is not specified in the program, like description, but that should be the same as for a standard business visa. If we talk about the other type of visa, when you're an employee of the foreign company, then you will basically just need to go to the foreign police, get registered, and you're good. Because there is nothing else to do. But for freelancers, there is still plenty of steps afterwards. First would be picking up the visa from the embassy, for which you will need health insurance, blah, blah, blah. Then you need to come to the Czech Republic under that visa. You need to go to the foreign police within 3 days after your arrival. Then you need to go to the trade license office and activate your trade license, because the trade license you're getting initially is just a temporary trade license, which doesn't allow you to run business yet because you don't have a business visa yet. So you need to activate the trade license. And then you will need to get registered with the social security system, income tax system, and in some cases also the public healthcare system. Depends on your nationality. And only after all these things happen, you'll be set. Important thing to say here is that the registration in the Digital Nomad program, which is given to you by the Ministry of Industry and Trade, is only valid for 1 year. So technically, if you want to stay longer than a year, you can apply for a long-term residence permit based on the business purpose of your stay. So the standard procedure is for any other business visa. But you would need to, on top of applying for the residence permit, you would also need to renew your registration as digital nomad with the Ministry of Industry and Trade. So it's a bit more complicated than a standard business visa, but the rules will be pretty much similar. So that was one of the questions I got today when I posted this like invitation to the video. So one question I got on Facebook was, what about taxes? So taxes should be, as far as we know now, the same as for the standard business visa. So you will need to get registered into the tax system, income tax system, which is 15% from your net income. Then you will need to contribute to the social security, where the minimum payment is 3,000 crowns a month, but it depends on your income. And if your income must be at least 1.5 of national average, you will be paying more. You will be paying most likely like 4.5, 5,000 crowns a month. And then the healthcare, it depends on your nationality, if you have to pay like the yearly one, the private one, or if you will be contributing to the public healthcare system, which would be roughly around another 3,500 crowns a month. And then it's based on your income. So this is it. Of course, guys, I seriously think that would be best to get in touch with us and at least have a consultation. If you're brave enough and you want to try this on your own, be my guest. But I think it would be anyway good to have a consultation with us so you understand the steps and what needs to follow, because there are many like moving parts and you need to kind of put them all together. So yeah, we'll be happy to help you with that. I've never seen anyone else talking about this topic, talking about this option. So we are the only ones I know at this point who deals with this kind of visa in the Czech Republic, and we'll be gaining more experience with more clients we help. So use that knowledge, use that experience, leverage us, and move to the Czech Republic easily. And let me see if there is any other things I wanted to mention. Probably not. Yeah, that the last thing was that the extensions, with the extension of the visa or getting the residence permit, you would also need to keep extending the status of digital nomad, basically. So yeah, that's, I guess, it. So guys, let me know what you think, if you think it's a good option or not. And if you have any questions, get in touch. Read the article. I left the link in the description. So it's everything as I was talking about is described there. So you can read it through. And yeah, we'll be happy to help you. And I'll see you again Thursday, Monday, until the end of the world. See you guys. Two people stayed 20 minutes with me. Thank you. Bye-bye, guys.